Nice to have you all in this program, Ehilis Talk Show. Honor to God. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Common sense is the common denominator of intelligent people. Say something, somebody.
My name is Peace. Common sense is the common denominator of intelligent people. In my opinion, as an intelligent person, you don't have to wait to be told what to do. It is wise for you to take up initiative. Thank you.
My name is Onyinye. Common sense is a common denominator of intelligent people. In my opinion, it means that wisdom is a common thing amongst intelligent people that helps them navigate life better. Thank you.
My name is Ogene Suwe. Common sense is the common denominator of intelligent people. My understanding of this is that rational, logical, and organized thinking patterns resonate amongst intellectuals. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response to that teaser. Common sense is the common denominator of intelligent people. Wisdom is the principal thing. That's what Bible says. And here it talks about wisdom. We need to apply wisdom when necessary. And a foolish man cannot be intelligent. So wisdom, in most cases, is associated with those who are really intelligent. And everything you do, try to be wise. It is very, very key so that you don't be misled. If you behave anyhow, people will also know that you're not really intelligent. Have you heard of this saying? Common sense not be common. It's only when somebody acted in a funny way that people always use that word. Common sense not really common. You see the way he behaved. So that is what it is. Whenever I talk about common sense, it has to do with intelligent people. They are the people that apply wisdom. They are people that reason even above their equals. So be one of them as a student, and then you see that life will be much better for you. Enough for this. We'll go to our discussion for today. Honestly, as the earth remains, we shall not cease from discussing relationships around marriage because of the importance to God, the institutor or the initiator. The topic for discussion today is critical examination of the X factor in marriage. It's time for a break, and when we come back, the guest will be introduced. Please don't go away. Vivid View, say and do it. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic again is critical examination of the X factor in marriage. And with me in the studio is a legal practitioner. Let's make welcome Barrister Sylvester Ewanwa.
Thank you. Vivid View.
Say and do it. Please, before discussion proper, follow us on social media handles as displayed on the screen. Barrister, you're welcome again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right, so can we have introduction, definition, and perspective for this subject matter?
This topic we are discussing about X, which is very fundamental in the life of an individual. Looking at it holistically, Christian relationship. What do you understand by the word X? Literal meaning of X means former. Could be a former boyfriend, former girlfriend, former relationship. In one way or the other, as humans, we must have been involved in relationships that involve our past. We must have been involved in things that will still go back to memory lane with respect to relationship. Coming back to marriages, so many persons have had relationship with respect to their ex. It simply means past relationship, former relationship, former interaction you've had with somebody. Looking at it, the definition is simple: past relationship. Going back to X factor, it simply means a former relationship with a former romantic partner that now metamorphose into is a current marriage or relationship. Perspective of X in marriages. We have different perspective of X that frowns at X in our relationship. the question we'll ask ourselves, is it good to still keep our exes in our relationship or in marriages? If you look at marriage is an institution that is ordained by God. But today, you see different issues in marriages. What are the causes? One of the basic causes that people don't tend to discuss about is X. X factor. Even looking at X in mathematics, although it's not even different, it's different.
Yeah, of course.
It's different spelling.
Yeah, of course.
X has always been a problem. We could remember when we were in school, they'll say find S. We keep looking for S. It has been a problem.
Yeah.
So coming back to relationship, in bringing S into our relationship, is it good to really bring S to our relationship? My advice is that we should set out boundaries. Now, S simply means formal relationship that involve intimacy, that now transcend to a present relationship or marriage.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that definition and the perspective you gave on X factor. And yeah, you also asked questions to the audience, even those watching us, is it really good to be in good relationship with your ex? That is the question. So as we progress in the discussion, we'll know whether it's really good or not. Okay, so what are the motives behind keeping X?
Before we discuss about the motive, I really want us to really talk about the perspective. In looking at a perspective, we'll have different perspective of X that frowns at X. We have cultural, we have psychological, we have religious. In culture, those days, a girl is even being married as a virgin. Nobody wants to even talk about X. Some culture frown at X. You, as a married person, having communication with an ex. We can have communication with an ex if boundaries are set. Culturally, is wrong. In every general rule, there are exceptions. The exceptions are, one of the basic exceptions is setting clear boundaries. How many of us can really set up clear boundaries? Coming again to religious background. In Christian marriage, one man, one wife. As a Christian, is it permissible to still have relationship with our ex? The big question is no. Psychological perspective. Psychology made us to understand that the more you think about previous relationship, other things will follow. Psychologically, you still get attracted to your ex. It still boils down to issue of setting clear boundaries. That's on perspective. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for that perspective that you threw to the audience to understand clearly what we are discussing. And I asked the question, what are the motives behind keeping X?
There are various motives for even keeping X. One, it could be a result of finance. Firstly, on finance, in keeping a relationship with somebody you already had a relationship, when you are no longer in that relationship, and you are comparing your former relationship vis-a-vis boyfriend or husband to present. Comparison. That this person used to take me out. This present husband is not taking me out again. This person is wealthier. I dated a boy that had a car. This one deceived me, he doesn't have a car. Another issue is issue of loneliness.
Okay.
A relationship, a man marrying a woman, one is in abroad, the other one is in Nigeria. The next thing, communication setting with the former ex. A man is moved by what he sees. Before you know, they start interacting with ex. Another issue is issue of having to social media. Social media has great advantage, but it has destroyed so many relationships. With a tip on your button, you can even access anybody online. Reconnecting with former ex. At the end of the day, it could lead to infidelity.
And breaking of homes.
And so many homes, so many marriages are in limbo. When you go to court today, you see matrimonial matters as a result of some of these issues. So we always advise that we should always set up clear boundaries. If possible, do away with your ex. Do away with your ex when you're already married, so as not to cause conflict in your marriage.
That is true. You have already mentioned one of the reasons, especially too. Some people too will feel that I have my boyfriend promised me marriage before I travel abroad. I should wait for him for 2 or 3 years. When he comes back, we'll get married. And after the first year, they lost contact, completely ghosted. The guy doesn't hear from him and all that. And maybe unknown to her that the guy is in prison somewhere and all that. And maybe she waited for 3 years, elapsed 4 years, 5 years. Then she decided to move with her life. And she now married another person. Shortly after the marriage, my guy surfaces from abroad. And perhaps he was actually not better than the one she decided to settle with. Maybe in terms of finances and other things you just mentioned earlier. Those are some of the reasons why they want to go back to their ex. But whether this reason I gave or not, or even the one Barrister gave, he had just said, set a boundary. Once you're married, for whatever reason you are married, honestly, forget about that ex. It's destroying homes. It had destroyed many homes. If your ex returned from abroad, for example, and when he was able to go to your family and get your new number and call you, identify his voice. Oh, thank God you're alive, you're welcome. Ex here, I'm married now, so please move on with your life. Hey, what do you do? So please move on to her. That's it. And with this time of phone, just block the line. There's no need leaving that line so that the communication will start, because before you know it, you're already sleeping with her again. You're already cheating on your spouse. Sleeping with her, sleeping with you, you're cheating on your spouse. So block it after discussion, block it, let him move on with his life. And in fact, the second calling, make it known to your partner. Perhaps when you're just, your partner must have been aware that John was your ex. Or you, but because he didn't see him, they married now. So look, do you know, honey, whatever you call yourself, John is in town. Oh. I don't know how he got my number and called me. But I just block it because I don't want to. So that even when your spouse hears outside, he will know that at least mention it. But by the time now you leave the line on, he keeps on calling you or she keeps on calling you, you run to the toilet to go and pick up, you run where you are sitting with your husband, you run with your phone to go and answer. You're already causing problems. That man is not a daft. Who are you calling? He say, hey, that man, he's son of my auntie. Why wouldn't you pick the call in the present? So please, just give that boundary. Very, very key. So we are saying here that no matter the excuse, please, you have made up your decision, you move on with your life. Whether it's or not, move on with your life and forget about that.
So I just want us to get this one at the back of our mind, still on the motive why people still run to their ex. It still depends on sexual comparison.
Can you imagine?
You see a girlfriend that I've dated. If you look at it today, so many girls and boys, if you want to count exes, some can count 30, some can count 20 of exes. Where comparison will not set in. Say, this my former boyfriend was sexually active, and now this person, my present husband, is a 2 minutes man. Comparison starts coming in. Before you know, infidelity sets in.
Exactly.
Before you know, the marriage is going down. Like we said, the key word is set boundaries and open communication. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too for that conversation. We'll take a break now. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. We're still discussing critical examination of the X factor in marriage. And that takes me to the next one. I know we have been talking, but we still want to make more, more explanation for people to understand the dangers in keeping this ex-friend. What are the implications of keeping one's ex-lover around him or her in their marriage?
Yes, thank you very much.
Stressing more now. Yeah.
Yes, one of the implication of keeping ex can lead to dissolution of your marriage.
Yes.
Can lead to infidelity in your marriage. For instance, a guy that is married and he has 1 or 2 weeks to marry, and at the end of the day, You want to still communicate with your ex. You say, okay, let me give him the last one. That's why you see today in Lagos, if DNA test is being conducted, 30% of the first child of some homes might not even be theirs as a result of this kind of infidelity. Okay, let me say goodbye to my boyfriend. At the end of the day, sexual intimacy, person becomes pregnant and give another person, somebody else, not person child to somebody else's that is on his own. Another implication with respect to us, it will cause conflict, unresolved conflicts, wherein, just like the example that was given, your ex called you, want to go to the toilet to go and receive call, or you are still collecting money from your ex, or result to unnecessary conflicts, which can even lead to dissolution of marriage, which culturally most custom frowns at. Another issue should be, it will bring dishonesty to both partners as a result of interacting with an ex. No trust. Where there's lack of trust in marriage,
To kill trust.
it will kill the marriage very fast. That's why I see today, people are married today, less than 1 year, they want to file for dissolution of marriage. Those are some of the implications. And non-contentment, because people are not contented. At the end of the day, it will lead to another thing. Maybe you run into your ex. At the end of the day, you collect something from your ex without even relating it to your partner.
Husband, yeah.
At the end of the day, it should start coming in. So in all this, the key word should still be set boundaries and openness, open communication between you and your spouse. If you have this and you are open to your spouse, communicate to your spouse, there will not be issue in your relationship or in marriages. Thank you.
Let me also ask you, Barrister, this. Supposing I have an ex and I left him, I'm marrying my husband, the one I'm living with now, and there's need for me to help that ex financially. Should I do that without asking for any payment or any way of help, of maybe to pay me back or something, either by kind or whatever? Is it right?
Yes, if you can do that, because as human, we'll still look at relationship. Because it's not all you look at the way it ended, you never really had issues. But if you are doing that, there should be an open communication so that at the end of the day, your partner or your husband get to find out without telling your partner. It will cause unresolved issues. The key thing is, if you must help genuinely without any string attached.
Without expecting, yeah.
And don't come close to an enclosed environment because you want to help and help. Because if you find yourself in a room, in an enclosed place, those chemistry, those memory might come in. Before you know, say thank you. At the end of the day, you go back memory lane, another thing will set in. Before you know, you start causing issue in marriage. The point I'm making is, if you must help genuinely without any string attached.
And one of the ways to also conquer this, is also being disciplined and having self-control.
Yes.
If you are disciplined, my ex is my ex, because something make him or her to become your ex. So why going back to that? Sometimes it's like going back to your vomit like a dog. That's the way I see it. Something make her become your ex. Something make him become your ex. So why not going back? Even with the example I gave earlier, there was no quarrel really, but you lost contact for some time. But we have made up your mind. You couldn't wait. You were impatient. You couldn't wait for his to return. You couldn't wait. And you move on. So after you move on, that's it. Forget about him. Even if he returns and calls you again, oh, thank God you are alive, like I mentioned earlier, and move on with your life. Please, this ex is really causing more havoc. A barrister is saying it because he knew what is passing through in the court. All the cases in the court because of this. Even to boyfriend and girlfriends that have not even married. Yeah? You are not yet married though, but you befriend a boy. Maybe for one reason or the other, you left that boy for the second one. Why will you keep going a big game to that ex? He's my ex now. How can I go down now? He's my ex. After that, he's not my enemy. You are creating problems already.
Yes.
Even your new boyfriend will not be happy with you. He's not yet married to you. But because you're always going back to the ex, why did you leave him or her in the first place? If he cannot do away with his memories that you people had shared together or shared before. So please be very, very careful, because these are things we just let us discuss so that we'll educate you young ones coming up. Call a spade a spade. If you are with Angelina, remain with Angelina. That's also how God instituted. That's why in my introduction I mentioned that one man, one woman. That's why I instituted it. If you want to eat a booty, eat a pepper soup or whatever, you put yourself into a serious problem that you may find difficult to even come out of it. So we'll take a break now. Vivid View.
Say it and do it.